In late October, there was a meeting in Otter Tail County in the Board of Commissioners room on a public hearing about expanding liquor stores, possibly giving a license to Dunvilla Township right on the Becker-Otter Tail County line. Now, not surprisingly, many cities in Otter Tail County, in fact the 6 cities that have liquor stores there, voiced opposition to it. Those, of course, being the cities of Fergus, Perham, Fergus Falls, Elizabeth, Earhart, and the closest city to that proposed liquor store, Pelican Rapids. Now, once again, we come across the classic notion of private versus public enterprise. These are city-owned liquor stores owned by the public, and of course the profits for them do go towards these cities and municipalities. But because of that, does that mean private business should not be allowed to have a liquor store, especially when they are outside of the limits and which the state mandates to have those liquor stores away from a city-owned one? Dunvilla Township near Pelican Lake sits, as I mentioned, right on the border between Becker and Otter Tail County, and could affect even businesses here in Detroit Lakes. In fact, at that meeting, they talked about the businesses being affected by Becker County's decision to allow liquor stores outside of municipalities. In Becker County, we have 7 city-owned liquor stores and 5 privately owned off-sale liquor establishments that are, as you might imagine, outside of city limits and far enough away from those other liquor stores. One was built south of the WeFest grounds, south of the Sioux Pass Ranch, pretty close to where Dunvilla Township is. After that liquor store was built, Perham City Administrator Kelsey Clem was quoted in that hearing in the Pelican Rapids paper as saying that the Detroit Lakes liquor store, one of the most profitable in the state, saw its growth diminish to 1%, saying that a liquor store for that size, a 1% growth, is frankly being stagnant. But let's really get down to the nitty-gritty here. What is this really all about? This is about those cities in Otter Tail County and cities that have liquor stores in general protecting their own, protecting their monopoly, and that doesn't help the consumer. Fergus Falls city official Mike Sievert in the same meeting was quoted as saying that they've reached the saturation point, at least for the Fergus Falls liquor store and in Otter Tail County, meaning that there is no new business coming. Well, I reject that notion outright. Becker County, Otter Tail County are both counties that have growing populations, are selling land in their lakes areas, and continue to have development inside and outside of certain towns and communities. So the area is growing. Plus, if they have reached their saturation point, how can a city like Detroit Lake still see a 1% increase? And if they have reached their saturation point, doesn't that just mean then the people that actually purchase items from those liquor stores should see better rates then, because it should become more competitive between the towns? So I also reject that notion outright. I think this is about one thing and one thing only. These towns throwing a bunch of tax money into building new liquor stores and then wanting to protect that. The city of Perham built a new liquor store off Highway 10 a few years ago. Pelican Rapids did the exact same. And of course, the city of Detroit Lakes is in the process of moving and rebuilding their liquor store. They're worried about their profits and bottom lines. And frankly, it's scary when these cities are becoming so dependent on liquor stores for part of their budget. Pelican Rapids is hoping to depend on their liquor store for as much as 10% of their budget in the coming years. Even cities like Fergus have 4 or 5% of their budget, if not more, rely on the city-run liquor store. Now, it's great to offset the cost of city-run government. I get that. Help keep taxes low. But not at the cost, I believe, of stifling capitalism. This family that wants to open a liquor store at their establishment in Dunvilla, if it meets state regulations, in my opinion, should be allowed to. Cities can't hold on to monopolies just because they want to.